Good morning, everyone. We can start in 5 minutes. We'll just wait for a few more people to join.
Good morning, everyone. I think we can start now since it's almost time. Yeah, so my name is Elsie Kadhambi from Tally Solutions. I think for the ones that have been joining the sessions, we've interacted at some point. I would want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for creating time to join today's webinar. As you know, it's a series of webinars that we've arranged for, especially for training people on Tally Prime. And I'm hoping that we are going to have an interactive session. So maybe before we start, if you have any question, maybe from the last or previous sessions, or any question that may arise about Tally, any clarification that you'd want, I'd request you to, put it on the chat box or the Q&A, and you'll be able to pick towards the end of the session. So without further ado, allow me to introduce my colleagues who are going to help with the presentation. Sifty, you can take it up. Eh?
Okay, thank you, Elsie. My name is Sifty from ERP Business-SYS Limited. Welcome to the third session of the course. For those who are new, Tally Prime is a complete business management software, and ERP Business-SYS Limited is a solution partner that provides customizations and modules according to a customer's requirement. We know that the world is advancing into technology, and including the management of businesses, and we need to keep ourselves up to date. We need to learn how to operate these softwares, because advancing into technology obviously doesn't mean that we're purposeless. We need to be the ones operating the softwares. These are a few feature highlights of Tally Prime. We'll have a quick recap of the previous sessions, and then we can move on to today's agenda. I think, Rita, you can take over.
Okay, thank you, Safety, for that opportunity. Okay, I'm Rita Mukare, and I will take you through the third session. We will first start with a recap of what we did the other two sessions. Last time we covered on masters. On masters, where we created the customers, and also we created a few ledgers, creditors. We also created stock items, So I'll just go to the display where we created this. In ledgers, we created a few ledgers here, bank and a bank account. We created M-Pesa and cash in hand. Then we created our customers and the sundry debtors, fixed assets, our vehicle. We created the capital, and then we also created sundry creditors, and then some expenses, also income, and then under stock items, we created a few stock items. Under the group of cement, we had a few stock items for cement. And then after masters, we came to transaction under vouchers, where we did the invoice processing, where you place an order, then you do a purchase, and then you do a payment, or you place a customer has given us a sales order, then we do the sale, and then we do a receipt. Okay. So today we will focus on debit notes and credit notes, and also we'll cover on reorder level. Then we'll come to contra entry. Then we'll look at bank reconciliation, and then VAT form 3. And if there is enough time, we can look at something else. So today we'll start with debit and credit notes. So for example, a scenario where we have ordered some stock from our supplier, and then we realize that some items are not in good condition, or they are damaged, then we return them to a supplier. So in that case, we'll do a debit note or a purchase return. So before we go to a debit note, I want us to quickly do a purchase, and then we do a debit note against it. So I'll come to purchase, input the supplier invoice number, let's say 003, and date. Then you select the supplier we are ordering from. Don't have any order for now. Then I select the item I want to order materials for. So I will just check blue triangle. Then order number, we don't have order number. Then location, I'm ordering for stock. Our store doesn't have stock, so I'm ordering for stock. Then quantity, let's say I'm ordering 50 bags at that rate. The amount. Okay, yeah, we want to purchase only one item, so I'll pick VAT now. Then I'll save. So once a purchase is done, of course some things will be affected, like our stock summary will go up, will increase. So when you come to blue triangle, you'll see here, Feb, we have purchased 50 bags of cement, and we had a balance of 20. Now we have a closing balance of 70 bags. But then now we realize that some bags of cement are not in good condition. So now we want to return to our supplier. So we'll come back to vouchers. Then under other vouchers, we select debit note. This is the purchase return. So I'll select the name of the supplier. Then here, I'll go direct to original invoice. So I'll put the original invoice of the purchase. That was 003. The date was 25th. Then I select purchase account. Then the name of the item was blue triangle. Okay, now order. Location from store. You see already store has updated. Okay, so we are returning, let's say 30 bags were damaged. So I'll put the quantity we want to return, the rate of 600. Then I will tag VAT and save. Okay, now we'll go to reports and see the effect when a debit notice is done. So first, we shall go to our stock summary, payment, blue triangle, month of Feb. So you see we had purchased from supplier B 50 bags. Then we did a debit note 30 bags. So a debit note will show with a negative sign here, meaning we have returned. So the stock, closing stock will be 40 bags. We had 70, now 30 has been returned. We have a balance of 40 bags. So another effect when a debit note is done, go to the books of the supplier. So when you come to display more reports, accounts books, we check the ledger, supplier ledger with supplier B. We have not yet done a payment to our supplier. So this is the much we need to, we are supposed to pay our supplier, but a debit note was done. So the closing balance will be 13,950. So now let's do a payment to a supplier and see the effect also. So I'll come back to vouchers and do a payment. I'll select payment from this column. For account, let's say we are paying through bank. Particulars, we are paying supplier B. So the amount will automatically come that supplier bill needs to be paid, that is 13,000. So it has already excluded the debit note entry. So we are paying against that reference, then we save. Put the instrument number, we have paid through check, so you have to buy the instrument number, then we save. So if you go back to the books, accounts books, ledger, go to supplier B. See the closing balance here has disappeared. Okay, have at first the purchase was 34,800. Then we passed a debit note of this cost, so we were remaining to pay 13,920 to our supplier. So the bill is settled. Okay, so that is how we do debit notes in case goods are damaged and we want to return to our supplier. Now we'll come to credit note. Credit note is a sales return. Maybe when we have done a sale to our customers and then our customers have returned to us goods, so we'll pass a credit note in our system. So we'll do a quick sale, come to vouchers and do a sale, then we do a credit note. So I select the customer. Then price level, then sales account, then the name of item I want to sell. Let's say I want to sell Savannah cement. So I'll select my item, no order, then location I'm selling from, main location. So I'm selling 20 bags, rate of 900. Then I tag VAT. Then save. So we have done a sale. Now our customer has returned to us, so we are coming to pass a credit note. So under other vouchers, I'll go to credit note. Select the customer, then first thing you have to make sure that the invoice number, you note it. So it was invoice number 3. So when you're doing a credit note, the important thing here is the invoice number and the date. So I'll come to credit note, select the name of the customer, then under original invoice details, we put the invoice 003 and the date. Then we put the price level, the item we had sold. So we had sold to our customer 20 bags. Main location. So our customer, maybe he realized that 10 of the bags are in bad condition. So we'll put the quantity of the bags that have been returned by our customer. Then we come and tag VAT. Okay. Okay, so we have passed a credit note. Now let's go and see the effect of this credit note. First of all, on stock. So when we go to stock summary, cement, Savannah cement, the month of February. Okay, we had done sales to customer C, 20 bags. Then customer C returned 10 bags. So now our closing balance is 15 bags. Also, we'll go to the books of the customer and see the effect. So you'll come to display more reports, accounts books, ledger, then customer C. So at first we had sold to customer C, sales worth 20,880. But then a credit note was passed. So customer C is supposed to pay us 10,440. That's the closing balance. So we'll do a receipt and see the effect also. So we'll come back to vouchers, receipt. We are receiving cash, customer C. 10. Okay. So when you come back to the books, see the statement, accounts books, ledger, then customer C. At first we owed customer C 20, then there was a credit note of 10,440. So the difference is what the customer paid, 10,440. So you see the bill is cleared here, there's no pending balance for our customer. So now we are done with doing debit notes and credit notes. If you have any question, don't forget to put it in the chat box. And if also I'm too fast, you can make me slow down. Okay. Now we'll do reorder level for stock items. So for example, I want to put reorders for my stock. I'll come to alter, then show more. Then I'll select reorder level stock group, then all items. So the reorder level, the report here will give the name of the item, and then we have reorder quantity and minimum order quantity. So reorder quantity, for example, it's an alert I want to put so that when maybe I'm left with Bamburi cement, 10 bags in my store, then I have to place a minimum order of 50 bags. So the minimum order quantity can be different. Maybe you want, if you are remaining with 20 bags, you can order 60 bags, or 15, you can order 40. So depending how you want to manage your stock, you can set that information, the reorder quantity, and the minimum order quantity, and then just go and save your information. So after you have saved information, now when you are doing sales or purchases, you can just come and check reorder status. So there are two ways of checking reorder status. So you can come to display more reports, then statement of inventory, then reorder status. So when you open for stock groups primary, it will bring a report here, name of the item, the closing stock, the net available, the order level. If there's a shortfall, it will show you minimum reorder quantity and the order to be placed. So let's say we have sold, maybe an example here, Savannah, let's say we had a closing stock of 10. It will show us here, you need to place an order of 40 bags. So this is the report for reorder status. Also, you can see reorder status in the stock query here. But this one will show you per item, per stock item. So when you open the stock query for Bamburi cement 50 kg, it will show, and then you come to pre-orders, it will show you here the pre-order status, the closing stock, the purchase order pending, if any, sales order, net available, reorder level, the shortfall, the minimum reorder, and the orders to be placed here. So that's all about reorder levels. Also, we can move on to contra. So when we come to vouchers here, we have contra here. Contra, the movement from cash to bank, or the movement of money from cash to bank or from bank to cash. So for example, you want to deposit money to our bank. So here account, we'll select bank. Account normally is where the money is going to. So you want to do a deposit, so we'll select Equity Bank. And then particular is where the money is coming from. So we are taking cash to bank. We are doing a deposit. So I'll select cash and I'll enter the amount of money I want to deposit to our bank. So maybe I want to deposit, like, let's say 20,000. Already it will show an effect. Cash has deducted 20,000 and our current balance for Equity Bank has already increased here. So we will save this. We have deposited our money and save this. Also now, maybe you want to do a withdrawal account is where the money is going to. So we select here cash. Then particulars, we are withdrawing from bank. So I'll select bank. So maybe say we are withdrawing 40,000. Already show here. Cash will increase and bank will reduce automatically by 40,000. So we'll save this. So that's the contra entry, movement of money from cash to bank or from bank to cash. Now I want us to look on something else, the bank reconciliation. So when you do, you want to reconcile your money in the bank, Tally has banking where we do all the bank reconciliation. So you come to bank reconciliation, and then the list of all the banks you have for your business will display here. For our case, we only have Equity Bank, so I'll go to Equity Bank. So it will bring a history of all the transactions you have been doing via bank. If it's payments you did using checks, or if it is a receipt you received from your customers using checks, or if it is you withdrew money or you deposited money, all that history will be here. But then you have to make a reconciliation. For example, maybe you received a check. For our case, we received a check from customer B here. The instrument number is the check number. So this amount has not yet reflected. So until you put the date, the money reflected in the bank, it's where you will have reconciled your report. So you just reconcile with the date when the money reflected in the bank. So some checks will reflect the same day, or it will take 3 days. So you put the date. So let's say you want to reconcile all this report. Our bank balance here 100, but we have 88 not reflected in bank and 78 not reflected in bank. So after we have reconciliated here, you'll see the money in the bank. If it's a withdrawal, it will show, and if it's a deposit, it will add. So now let's do the reconciliation here. Okay, I just put the date. And once I put the date, you'll notice that something is happening to this amount. It is reconciling automatically. So after you are done, you will save. So if you open again, you see our bank reconciled. So if you want to see the reports that you have reconciled, you can come here, base of value, and say include reconciled transactions. I'll click it, just pick yes, so it will show you how you reconcile and the date. So that is all about bank reconciliation. I'll come back. Okay. So we are done with bank reconciliation. I also want us to cover VAT. Okay. So whatever business you do where you have VAT returns, Tally has that option of you doing returns. So you'll come to display more reports, then VAT reports here, then VAT form 3. Okay, so returns are normally done every month, every end of month. So it will do for a particular month here. So this is the VAT form 3. Whether you come here and check if everything is correct, and then you export to the KRA portal. So first, we'll see the particulars here of the VAT form 3. We have total vouchers. So these are all the vouchers you have entered in Tally. So included in return here are those vouchers which have an element of VAT. For example, when we do sales, we do with VAT. Purchases, we do with VAT. Credit note and debit note, we do with VAT. So all of them will be counted here in return. And then not relevant for this return are those vouchers which do not have an element of VAT. Let's say, for example, when we were passing contra, we didn't tag VAT, so contra will be here. When you do a stock journal, doesn't have VAT, so it will be here. Or when you do a payment and a receipt, we don't tag VAT. So those are the vouchers not relevant for return. Okay, uncertain transaction, if maybe there's a return you did and there was a mistake, Tally will enable you to correct that mistake before you export your VAT Form 3 to KRA portal. Okay, so here all transaction including sales will come here. If all items that are taxable, it will come here. And then exempt also, it will come here. So for example, under exempt, we have some sales which are exempted VAT. For example, medicines. Medicines do not have returns, so they'll be sales exempted. And also some items are zero rated. For example, rice. When you're selling rice, you don't sell using VAT, so it's zero rated. And also purchase, all the reports of purchases that have VAT, Tally will calculate automatically and bring you the figure here. So also if you have imports, it will calculate VAT automatically here. And then this VAT payable, and then we less adjustment, any adjustment that will be there, or we add any VAT adjustment. The total amount will be what we'll be paying to KRA now. VAT payable after adjustment. This is the amount we'll be paying KRA for our return. Then if you're done with this report, you have checked all the errors are done. Now you are free to export this form to the KRA portal. So you just come here. We have here, it's covered now, but we have an export. So you just click export and then export to e-return. And you have exported your VAT Form 3 to KRA portal. That is
Hey,
done.
Rita,
Yes.
Rita, let me interject you. On that report also, you can show, when you go to the corrections that are needed, maybe you can open and show them like how Tally would guide you on where you need to correct.
Okay, so and when you just click here uncertain transaction and you click enter, it will take you to where the error is. So you just do enter and it will show you. See here, there's mismatch due to tax amount modified in voucher. You just come press enter and you put whatever is needed. Whatever error it has said, when you correct it, it will automatically disappear. For example, here it has asked us customer entry number. So when you put the number and save, so we'll just be checking one by one and correct on the errors. So once an error is corrected, when you come back to the VAT Form 3, you'll see here the uncertainty transaction is 0. So now you can be able to export your VAT Form 3. Maybe we can move to the next item. I'll just cover a little on stock adjustment. Okay, maybe let's say in your stock, you have realized maybe in your store some items have damage on their own, so you cannot sell them. You want to remove them from your store. So Tally system will enable you to do the stock adjustment. So you just come to other vouchers, and then you say stock journal. So here under consumption, you select the name of the item you want to remove from the other company. select the name of the item you want to remove from the store. Let's say it's double statement, the location, main location. Realize that maybe 5 of the bags are damaged and you cannot sell them. So you just indicate there under consumption and you save. So this one will directly remove the items from the store. You come to the summary, stock summary, then you check logo, payment. It will show you here, you had 50, but 5 of them were damaged, so we have removed them from the store. So the balance will be 45 bags. Also, maybe if you want to, you have to, for our case, we have main location and store, and you want to do transfer of material from location one to the other. So just come to vouchers again and do stock journal, other vouchers, stock journal again. So we have a source and destination. So source is the location you are removing the materials from, and then destination where you want your materials to go. So you select the name of the item you want to shift. For example, let's say it's tofu cement. We are moving from main location, you have 45 bags. We are removing 20 bags, that rate. Then the same tofu cement, we want to take it to store. Store doesn't have any closing balance. So we are putting 20. When you save, so that is a stock transfer. We have moved our stock from the main location to the store. So when you come to stock summary here, you put cement, check logo cement, it will show here. There was a stock journal that was made, 20 bags were moved from main location to store. So this is the general report. But if we go to the locations, display more reports, the specific location, it will allow us to see the movement location. So we want to check from store because we received payments. So it will show us the movement here, inwards 20, and now we have a closing balance of 20 bags. So that is all about stock transfer of materials. So thank you, and I'm handing over to Elsie for any question.
Thank you, Rita, for the session. You've covered it pretty well. So for the question, we have quite a number of questions that have come in, interesting ones. So I'll hand over to Caro to quickly go through it and answer those questions. Most of them have been answered there, but she can just wrap up on, most of them, then we can wind up. Caro?
Thank you for that, Tim, for taking us through that beautiful session. Good morning, everyone. I'll be going through the questions that you have shared with us, and I'll be pointing out some of the things that probably we've not pointed out in answering them. So the first question that I would like to touch on is one that came from Sharon. Actually, Sharon, you've asked 2 questions that are somehow related. You're asking about about the inclusive and exclusive VAT when capturing invoices, that is in both sales and purchases. So yes, it is possible to have the exclusive one whereby Rita was adding VAT after a transaction. As well, you can set up the system so that you can do the auto calculation, meaning that you don't need to do your calculation on the side to get the VAT. So we can connect, and we'll take you through that for both purchases and sales. I hope that has been answered, Sharon. I would like to hear from you. Another question was from Elijah Mesa. So you are asking about you asked, can you have more than one rate of VAT? For instance, petrol VAT rate is 8%. Yeah, so the beauty with Tally is that, as you've seen Rita show you, is that you can do iTax using Tally. And because of this, we've enhanced the system to capture various rates. That is 16%, 8% for fuel, exempt, and zero rated. So when you go to your VAT Form 3, you'll be able to get all the rates as per your transactions, and you're able to move them to VAT Form 3, where they will go to the different sheets accordingly. So I hope that is answered, Elijah Mesa. There's another question here from Elijah Mesa again. So how do you add float to your M-Pesa? And can you be able to clear one invoice using multiple payment modes? Yeah, so again, I want to thank Sifty because she's been answering these questions. I'm just, adding on a few highlights on the same, or even repeating what Sifty had answered. So yes, you can add the float. So as Sifty had guided you, you can either do that as an opening balance. So when you purchase Tally, we respect the fact that you are already in business. So it's either you do the opening balances of your previous period, or you capture all the transactions that were done before the system. So the float will come in as an opening balance or as receipts whenever you receive money from clients, or entirely we have what we call contra, movement of money from either bank to M-Pesa or cash to M-Pesa and vice versa. So you have those options to have your M-Pesa float. I hope your question is answered. Elijah. And then we have a question from Tricia. So on bank statement, we get the date check is deposited and clearing date. So which date do you pick? Okay, so if I can understand well, Rita, kindly take us to banking. To bank reconciliation. Yeah, include the reconciled. So when you come to bank reconciliation in Tally, you have two options. It's either you import a CSV bank statement from the bank, especially from the bank, and you're able to import that. That's a recent feature that we included in Tally, or you can do that manually. So when you're doing that manually, that means you either input manually where the bank date is as per the bank statement, or you have another option which does almost automatic. So when you go to set bank date on your left, on your left hand side, there's the set bank date. Rita, you can take us there, please. Yeah, so when you go to set bank date, you can either include the date as the instrument date, or the new date. You can have a new date. For example, if the bank statement is different from what the instrument date is, or it can be as per the voucher date. Probably the day you captured the voucher of receipt is maybe the date that it went through. So you have these three options, or you can now go and do it manually one by one. I hope your question is answered, Tricia Dairo. So it's up to you now and the bank statement you have. Yeah, and then there was a question from Elijah asking whether you can clear an invoice with multiple with multiple payment methods. Yeah, so whenever you're clearing either your purchases or your sales invoices, Tally will give you that option. So you can have different accounts entirely. You can have your M-Pesa, you can have your different bank accounts, you can have your cash, you can have even your petty cash. So you're able to select the method you want, either to make payment or even to do a receipt. So that option is there. Yeah, I have a message from Elijah Mesa. Thanks. Well understood. Yeah, thank you, Elijah. I'm glad to know that it is clear. And also from Teresia Dairo, you're most welcome. And Sharon, you've understood. Yeah, glad to hear that. To know that, sorry. Yeah, so I hope your questions have been answered. We don't want to lock you out. Please post as many questions as you can. Yeah, we are here to help you. As well, we can connect with you one-on-one and explain further.
Yeah, I think it's been a very active session today, like with all the questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure, Safety.
So Sifty will be sharing this recording. This is the third session. So those will be 3 recordings, and we're going to use the email addresses that you used while you are doing the registrations. So we are remaining with 1 more session for next week on Friday, same time, whereby we are looking for it to be exciting. We'll have questions like a quiz that we'll give to you, that will target all the sessions that we've done. And as we had promised when we were starting, we'll have some certification, online certification for everyone that has attended to the last part and have done the quiz. So please feel free to go through the recordings. Maybe you can get a thing or two, or if you have a question, you can always reach out. I think Safety had displayed the contacts. You can always reach out to anyone, and we'll be able to, we'll be happy to help. So since there is no other question, and because of time, really again want to thank you for your time and creating time to join today's session. And we are looking forward to having you on Friday again next week. Yeah, so that's it from our side. Okay, there's a, yeah, Safety has actually just displayed our contacts. Hilary, we are going to share the presentation via the email addresses that are used to register. Again, Safety has just put a number on the chat box. You can just pick it up. Maybe you want some further clarification, you'll be able to pick it up. If we don't have another question, I can say that was a very interactive session, and it takes us to the end of the session. So you can leave at our own leisure. Thank you so much once again.
Yeah, thank
Thank you,
you. Have
Hilary.
a fruitful day too.
Yeah. No problem, Sharon. We hope to see you in the final session. Mr. Karanja, we will be sending the recordings and notes on the email you had registered with.